lived here all my life, born and raised in D.C., so I like everything.
It gives you a good feel for what Washington used to be, kind of where it came from. Yeah, that's probably why I like it the most.
It's just a really quaint area. It's really great for tourists to walk around. There's lots to do. Lots to do if you like to shop.
Shopping and the food, restaurants, yeah.
I'm kind of a foodie, so I enjoy all of the restaurants down on M Street. But I really like the waterfront. It's nice to hang out on a nice day like today, get a drink, and just relax.
Well, I was born in Georgetown, so I've been in Georgetown my whole life. What I can say is that Georgetown will always remain a special area just physically. The location of being right on the river, and just physically the buildings in Georgetown, being the oldest part of Washington. Georgetown was older than Washington. It was here before Washington, and it was a separate area from Washington. Even had its own street names. That's where the name of the bookstore, Bridge Street Books, comes from, is that M Street used to be called Bridge Street. There is some history, and you have buildings that are 100, 150, maybe even 200 years old. And you have the brick sidewalks, you know, you have a few cobblestone streets left. And you have an area that has charm, and you have Dumbarton Oaks, you have gardens at Montrose Park at the top of the hill. I mean, you have a little bit of everything in just 1 square mile. I got interested in a number of different fields and just immersed myself in books. But I'd gone to England with my father alone in '73. He said to me on the plane, he said, you know, I've got this store, and they're going to build a hotel next door, and it's going to be worth a lot more. It'll be more valuable retail-wise when they build the hotel. He said, if you go learn the book business, I'll help you get started. And I go, well, if I have to go into business, I can't think of anything I'd rather do than sell books. I just want to build a good bookstore and hope that somehow I could survive. What I would like to say is that pound for pound, we're maybe as good as any bookstore, because there are bookstores that are much bigger, that are going to have a bigger selection. But for our size, my employee is an avant-garde poet. Our poetry section is maybe as good as anybody in the country. And it's not small, it's a certainly very large size. So, I mean, there's certain areas where we're not small considering the size of the bookstore. We may be tiny compared to Barnes & Noble, but I would say that at least 50% of our books you won't find in Barnes & Noble. We're the way bookstores used to be, is what I like to say.
We carry most of McClellan Peterson products that are a little more common as well. My first experience in Georgetown was in the summer of 2005, and I was able to walk around the neighborhood and really get a feel for the different architecture and the different people that are in the area. I would say the one thing that drew me most to this town when I first came here was the mom and pop nature of a lot of the businesses that are operated out of Georgetown. What I really like about the shop is the blend of people that come in. We have senators, congressmen, we have guys off the street, we also have business people from around the area, we have visiting tourists. So we really get to interact with a lot of the different people that make up the greater DC community. Well, Georgetown Tobacco is over 45 years old. We have thousands of cigars, pipe tobaccos, canes. We like to say that when you're smoking a cigar, it's an event. Or when you're having a pipe, it's a nurturing experience. We bring an attitude of professionalism and expertise to everything that we know about the shop. And we like to share that with each of our customers that come in here. Well, the shop was founded in 1966 by David Berkebile, who is still the owner today. We're going to be here as long as we can. We enjoy being here, we like being here. For the rest of Georgetown, we're seeing a shift towards the commercialized, towards the chain store, which is different because it's taking a lot of that attitude away from Georgetown that made it so different from a lot of the other neighborhoods in Washington, D.C. And I really hope that a lot of the other family-run businesses like Georgetown Tobacco are able to sustain that change and withhold that challenge to conform to the commercialized world, because it really does give an identity to each of these shops down here.